let us continue in this letter to the next portion, to today's portion that gives us now deeper insight into the concept of something from nothing. So, yes, we don't. It's something that we don't comprehend. It is not something that we experience, the nothingness of God. But what the Alter Rebbe is now going to teach us is what we call Hasidic geography. Hasidic geography. And understanding how this process actually works. So even though we say it's beyond our comprehension, well, this is Chabad teachings, we need to comprehend this, and we're going to now to take this apart to understand. And let me just give the proper context over here, Barbara, so maybe you can appreciate. Good question, don't we have a relationship with God? And we're saying it's incomprehensible. Absolutely. So we're talking about creation of the physical world, the material world. We're not talking about our relationship with God. Our relationship with God far exceeds God as creator. But that's not our reference point or context today. In this letter, we're speaking about God as creator, not our relationship to him. Our relationship to him is based on Torah and mitzvahs that he gives us, that we fulfill, that gives us a direct relationship with God. Absolutely. But here we need to understand, how is it God as creator? Right? When we relate to God through Torah and mitzvahs, we're not relating to him as what he does. And what does he do? Create. Right? We relate to the core essence of God that's beyond what he does. So just to give the proper context, that's important. Okay, now, this is a way, it's going to be a little technical. I'll try to do the best to give an understanding. So we're talking about coming from nothing, but it means the 10, as we learned in the first class, it's the 10 divine attributes of God that are the creative force. Now, in attributes, we said there's two dimensions, light and vessel. Light is the infinite quality of the Ein Sof. Vessel is the limiting factor of God. It is the power of limitation. God has both the power of infinite and the power of limitation. So the kelim, which means vessel, right? The power of limitation. This is a vessel, this mug I'm holding, right? Of the 10 spheres in the world of Bria, Yitzir, and Asiya, also have they have light. So the vessels in the world, not in the world of emanation, the world of Atzilos, but in the creative worlds of Bria, Yitzir, and Asiya, creation, formation, and the world of action, right? They are made up of vessels, right? And each of the 10 divine attributes, and also of light. Now, in light, there's 3 dimensions of light that we'll speak about, which refer to the 3 levels of the soul, or 3 levels of internalized part of the soul: nefesh, ruach, neshama. Those 2, nefesh and ruach, the lower levels, as the 10 divine attributes come down into the world of Bria, Yitzir, and Asiya, which are creations of God, even the divine attributes, the vessels and the lights of nefesh and ruach, are at what we call a yesh, substantial. They're part of creation rather than part of creator, or the emanator that creates creation. However, the dimension of neshama of the light, technical over here, please try to follow, the neshama level, the 3rd level, that always remains part of the divine, part of the creator rather than created. Okay? So, now, to complicate things even a little more, I said this is Hasidic geography. The vessel component of the divine attributes has 10 divine attributes, but they're three-dimensional too. The light is three-dimensional, nefesh, ruach, neshama. The vessel is also three-dimensional. Outside of the vessel, right? The outside of the vessel, the inside of the vessel, and the middle of the vessel. That's three components. Three dimensions of vessel. Okay? Three dimensions of light, three dimensions of vessel. Now, vessel and light, it's like body and soul, they fuse together. They're not two separate things here. They're fused together to make a attribute like chesed, kindness, divine kindness. So divine kindness has the light component that has three dimensions, nefesh, ruach, neshama. It has the vessel component that also has three dimensions, right? Inside, outside, in the middle. Now just take it on faith, what I'm saying, and what's the practical idea over here. It's we're just giving you the basics over here. Let's get this. Now, all of that divine attribute, as it comes down into the creative process of Bria, Yitzir, and Asiya, beyond the world of emanation of Atzilus, it becomes now part of creation. The vessel, completely. The lights, two dimensions of the light. Nefesh, ruach. Neshama remains part of divinity. Okay? So, now, as it comes into this divine attributes, come into creation to create, right? To create something. To create that they're the power of God, of the Ein Sof, to create. How are they creating? In what we call, in a manner, or the effect is of something from nothing, but its engagement is at what we call igulim, circles. Meaning it vests itself in a way that it doesn't, that the yesh, the created substance or the created thing here, and here we're talking in spiritual worlds, we're not even yet in the physical world, not yet. In the spiritual realms, it creates that thing, that created being, in a manner that it feels its own selfhood. It feels I am. As opposed to in the world of Atzilus, everything doesn't feel an I am. It feels like a ray of sun within the sun. But now in creation, no longer that. No longer that. There's the I am. And in here, the bodies of angels, of Atzilus, which is a very high level, form the yesh from the external aspect of the vessels. Because they're really not nullified, these angels, and they have a sense of their own awareness, selfhood, substantial being. That's where the bodies of angels come from, rather than the soul of angels. The soul of angels we'll get to. Right? Just like the divine attributes has light and vessel, so created beings, souls, have a body and a soul. Just like we have a body and a soul. Now, what does that mean, the body? The body, what's a real body? Well, we speak about our celestial bodies, right? Are they physical? Well, even if they are, yes, okay, fine. But they're beyond that. So when we speak about angels, when we say a body of an angel, we don't mean a material body. Doesn't mean have to be material. It's not physical at all. Because a body, right, doesn't have to be a flesh and blood. A body of water is made from water. So a body of an angel is made from the external aspect of the vessel as it creates something that has a sense of its own absolute substantial being, separate from its source. Separate from its source, because it's being created, not cause and effect, but something from nothing. Ooh la la. Okay. Have any questions? Any questions? Any thoughts? Any challenges here? This is, we're going to get more into angels tomorrow, understanding the soul aspect of the angel, right? So angels are not Casper the Friendly Ghost, even though, looks like has some kind of body there. Right? So, we have some questions here. 2 question marks before you ask a question, please. Andrew, don't we get godly soul from God? So we start with that, not nothing. Yeah, we're not talking about the godly soul over here. Remember, what is our focus over here? What is our context? God is creator, not about my personal relationship with God. That is, yes, Andrew, 100% what you're saying, that our godly soul is a part of God. Absolutely. And that gives us a different relationship to God as opposed to God as creator of a material object, be it this mug, be it a tree, be it an animal, right? So absolutely correct what you're saying. But we're not going off on that discussion because that's not the focus here, but it's important to put that into context. Absolutely. Thank you again for bringing that up, as Barbara did also. Davida, if Hashem is constantly creating, He is constantly creating us. Is that why we say Moedani every morning? Absolutely. God is constantly creating the world, something from nothing. So we're anew every moment, which, by the way, just as a side point, Moedani we say in the morning, thank God that He's restored our soul within us. So that's sort of more of where it's more apparent to us, God creating the world, something from nothing every moment. We don't feel God creating the world, something from nothing every moment. That's why our source is, we call it nothing, because we don't experience that. We're not sensing. We don't feel the vibrancy of creation. If we were more attuned maybe to even our breath, breathing in, breathing out, that's as God creates the world, breathing in, breathing out, His breath of creation, His word, absolutely. But we're trying to understand that now. How did Abraham see the angels that came to him? They came in a physical body. Yes, they came literally in a physical body, right? They can do that, absolutely. But here we're not talking about that. We're talking about the body of them as opposed to the soul of them, that is a creation that gives them a sense of being a being that is separate from its source. Okay? Now, we're going to discuss more about that tomorrow. Anna, is there a creation, a concentration of divine light? Is the creation a concentration of divine light? It's a dilution of the divine light, not a concentration. It's a dilution of the divine light. It is hidden, concealed. Okay. Esther, Okay, anybody in Clubhouse with a question, a comment, a thought? Um, so Neshama is part of the Creator. Yes, absolutely, Esther. Correctement. Absolutely. Yes. And again, um, you know, we learned that in chapter 2 of the first part of Tanya, that the second soul is literally a part of Hashem. And we went into great length discussing what that means, that the soul is literally a part of God. Okay? And chapters 18 and 19 discussed that concept and how it reflects itself. Barbara, a being separate from its source. Yes. Our divine soul is not separate from God. It's a part of God, but it's in a body, and the body imprisons our soul, that our soul is not our primary, the primary thing we're in tune with. We're in tune more with our body's desires, our body's whims, our body's lusts, and addictive behaviors, and so on. That's what we are attuned to. And therefore it hides the soul, but it is there, absolutely, our divine soul. No question about that. Okay, folks, you're going to have to excuse me. I answered a bunch of questions, and I must, other obligations. Today, we're starting Rambam at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., not at 12:45 anymore. It's going to be at 1 p.m., learning Maimonides. We're learning, important stuff that you can please join us. It's on Zoom and also on Chabad ZK on Facebook. Facebook Chabad ZK. Or in Zoom, 770, 6085. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron and Kadesh in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have a good Tavach, a good week, and a Gemar Chasimateva, a good Gebench, be sealed only for good as we approach Yom Kippur. Be well.